Hey, this is Matt once again. What about to another video? This is a paid request, this time for JoJo 1996. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, reactions, reviews, re-reviews, randomness, out of the blueness, rankings, listings, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, he wanted me to look at this 2009, this is a short film called Splatter. And I didn't know what the hell this was, but it had Joe Dante directing, who did Gremlins, Inner Space, The Burbs. I'm like, Joe Dante did this? And it's like one of the last things he's directed. Not the last, but one of the last. And it's produced by Roger Corman. It stars Corey Feldman, as well as Tony Todd. And of course, Corey Feldman worked with Joe Dante on Gremlins and The Burbs. I guess this was some kind of experiment with Netflix where at this time Netflix was only known for their service of you did DVDs in the mail. You did it, you watched it, you returned it back in the mail, so on and so forth, physical media. They really had not got into streaming like they are nowadays. So this was, like I said, an early streaming experiment where they would show an episode and then people would vote on who would die next. And so whoever voted or was voted would die in the next episode. And apparently they were going to shoot it, and then depending on who died, they would shoot that part. But then pretty much they just shot everything anyway because it'd be much easier that way. Since we have everyone here at the same time, just shoot like 3, 4, 5 alternate versions of a scene. Which Joe Dante said it was a lot harder than you would think. It was actually one of the more harder films, however you want to call it, that he took part in. And then apparently, like Netflix, I guess there's maybe 10 episodes. I don't know. At the end of the day, if you find this, for the most part, there'll be 3 episodes together. Where it's a 29-minute short film. And it was really lame. It was really lame, cheap, pointless. I mean, it just made you go, wow, this was a useless venture. Because the idea, I can understand the idea. In a way. You know, vote for who would die. You take part in it. Of course, with any voting, you're going to be rigged anyway. So technically you say, well, how would you know? You won't know for sure. We can put any number we want. But that's something, I think, what was it, Return the House on Haunted Hill, the Blu-ray or something. You could pick or choose who lives or dies. Really, I mean, the best way to do that is with video games. Until Dawn did that. What was it, House of Ashes? The video game I really enjoyed, I believe that's what it was called. I can't remember. I'm bad with names, that's why. Video games seem like the best way to do that. Movies just seems like it's a lot harder to try to do it that way. But I mean, again, it's an interesting experiment, but in this case, it was such a piss-poor result that it makes you go, wow, this shouldn't have even been fucking done in the first place. Because when you look at the result, the production values are ultra cheap and low. Because, I mean, technically this is a web series. It looks like it was shot just one location with a couple rooms. That the only thing you notice is that this one's lit pink. This one's lit yellow. Corey Feldman's a rocker. He kills himself. When he shoots himself, there's a big, blood coming out of his head. Then it cuts to 5 people there for the reading of the will. The 5 people are a former lover who stole his son. Her name is Cruel, with a K. A therapist who gave Corey Feldman's character electroshock therapy. I recognize the actor. It's Stuart Pinkton. He was the sheriff in Arachnophobia. He's been in other stuff. Tony Todd, who was Feldman's manager. A bandmate who was a guitar. He played the guitar. He was jealous of Feldman. And then a groupie that screwed him over by going to the tabloids. So 5 people who know, but 5 people who did him wrong. So he comes back from the grave. Decent makeup. Corey Feldman overacting. Like, Corey Feldman is a guy that I think was a better kid actor than adult actor. Right, I was more of a Corey Haim guy than Feldman. But Feldman, he's good in Stand By Me. He's good in Friday the 13th Part 4. The Teen Bit and Gremlins. You know, I could deal with him in The Burbs. I like him in it. And License to Drive. But a lot of times after, it just... The Lost Boys, he's good in that. But it's like, the older he got, the more he's just acting. He's been very over the top. Like when he's played a vampire, Bordello Blood, and he's doing this. He's going a bit too hard. He's been trying to act. It's just not natural. It's not, doesn't come off as natural at all. Again, decent makeup. And there's a coffin, there's a TV, and he says, pretty much with each episode, he picks who he's going to choose. And each one ends with, who's next? And looking at the camera. Who's next? What are you, Bill Goldberg? Who's next? A lot of bad acting. Except for Tony Todd. Tony Todd, I feel bad for. Because this guy is such a good actor. And he's wasting his time on this shit. I mean, obviously, I would assume he got paid for it. And he said yes to it. But I'm like, man, this guy should be doing so much better in acting roles. He's so talented, and he's stuck in this bottom of the barrel BS. And as to what happens next, I mean, people die. Spoiler alert. The Stuart Payton, the therapist, he goes to a phone booth, not the phone booth from Bill and Ted or Doctor Who, but a phone booth. He's electrocuted and melted. There's like kind of a lot of flashing. They cut to up close. You see some makeup on his face. And the electrical stuff that's going on is really bad CG electricity, if that's the best way to put it. Crew goes up the stairs. At one point she's going down a hallway, and it looks like fisheye lens. Like they changed the lens for some reason, so it's lens that, like in the corners, like here, you see like a little curve. Like a little, shit. Like from here to here, you see like a little curve of black on, almost like you're doing this. Why that's the case, I have no idea. Because I don't think they ever did that again. Could be wrong. And the production value is just super low. I mean, this is probably shot in someone's house. Budget seemed like maybe $8 and change. Corey Feldman takes a CD, cuts her neck. Then, I think that was the first episode. Then the second episode, it's people not acting like they just saw people die on a TV screen. Tony Todd, the guitarist, the groupie, they had very nonchalant. Again, like barely any reaction of being freaked out that a guy who shot himself in the head is back as a zombie and 2 people have died. Maybe with the electrocution of the phone booth there's some reaction, but the second one, when they see the girl get the neck cut with a CD, barely any reaction from that. I mean, the groupie and the guitarist seem bored. Tony Todd has a little bit more reaction, but the others seem bored out of their mind. Which I don't blame them, because I'm bored too. So the groupie goes up, and because she sold stuff to the tabloids, Feldman rips her heart out. Then the guitarist plays a guitar. Well, he smashes one guitar, then he plays another guitar as his ears start bleeding. Now I thought, oh, it's going to result his head exploding? No. See, even if you're doing this for gore, I mean, you've seen better gore. We had a neck slit, heart ripped out, a guy's ears bleed, and then the guy being electrocuted. And there's no story, there's barely any story, there's barely any creativity. And for Joe Dante, you're expecting some creativity or some ingenuity or some humor. It's not really that funny. There's nothing that original. It's nothing that, oh wow, that's a cool take on it or a cool twist on it. This guy that did Gremlins 2, which was an interesting take on a sequel. This guy who did The Burbs. This guy who did Inner Space. I mean, this guy had creativity oozing out of his bones. This was, I don't know why the fuck he did this. I guess maybe for his Trailers from Hell, because he's behind that Trailers from Hell where directors or other people give commentary on movie trailers. And I think maybe some of the people involved with that did this, or acted in this, or whatever the hell. As what happens in the rest of the film, Tony Todd, because the groupie sets this idea that there was this book that was found in the coffin, something about taking the body parts of each person, burning them, saying some kind of blah 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 blah. So he does. He takes body parts from each of the dead bodies that thankfully are all piled in one group, thankfully. How convenient. At least Corey Feldman was nice enough to put all the dead bodies in one group. At least that was nice of him to do. You know, makes things a lot easier. He does it, and then Corey Feldman kind of stops and goes, oh, man. And then Tony Todd says, I guess he controls them. We're going to do a comeback tour. I'm dead. And then Tony Todd goes, you ever see the Rolling Stones live? That's like the first and only kernel of humor that made me almost smile. Maybe because the way Tony Todd said it, because he's a good actor. Maybe because it's Tony Todd, Corey Feldman playing off each other, which is this is like the only scene they really get to play off each other. Because Refit is either Feldman overacting, killing someone, or on a TV screen overacting. Then they shake on it. Then he brings back his former lover because he needs a bassist. And then he's kind of choked in Tony Todd and goes, 5% though, not 10%. And I guess now they're going to go off to do their band. And I'm sitting there going, this is lame. This is just lame. I mean, I don't know. I would say this must not have been that successful because it's not like there were sequels. It's not like there were other splatters, other points they did this. Again, not many people had known about this, including me. And I'm sitting there going, this is just... When you watch it, it looks cheap. There's not much to talk about. That's the thing. It's 30 minutes long. What am I to talk about? 5 people that you don't care about. The only person I care about is Tony Todd because I like him from not just Candyman, but Night of the Living Dead remake and many other episodes. To the point of picking out my eye from my allergies. And this is how interested I am in this fucking movie. Oh my god. It's like, yeah, it could rant, but it's not giving me much to work with. There's not much there. Production value, cheap as fuck. Couple rooms. Pink and yellow lights. There's a coffin. The deaths, I mean, there's a body count of 4. And one of them, the guy's ears just bleed. It's not even like his head blows up. Or an eyeball pops out. The death scenes are not as great as maybe the heart being ripped out, but I mean, fuck, I saw that Hellbound with Chuck Norris and plenty of other fucking films with hearts being ripped out. Split Second, Rutger Hauer ripped out the damn monster's heart and blew it away with a pistol. And again, there's no way you would know Joe Dante directed this if you didn't look it up. Now, Roger Corman producing it, I could buy. I guess if you're a Corey Feldman, Tony Todd fanatic, it's for free on YouTube. I'm just saying, even it has this one establishing shot of this house that's done in really bad green screen CG. It's like one of those one-camera sitcoms, but even then, like TV shows of Elf had more production value than this. So the music is nothing I can even remotely remember. The ending just comes off as goofy and silly. Glad Tony Todd lived, because he's the best actor in the movie. But there's no like big fight or battle or chase or action or anything of the sort. So it makes you go, what was the point of this? I guess the point of it was they do this, then they would release all the variations and maybe choose your own adventure type of style. But again, from what I understand, Netflix just picked up 3 and they put them together as a short film. So maybe you find the other ones, but I don't really care. Don't really care. Because there's no story. There's no, like I said, no creativity. I mean, Joe Dante a lot of times is known for that, or there's really no energy, and what to see Corey Feldman overact more. Nah, I'm good with that. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.